The 15-Point Plan is part of the Win, Make, Give podcast network.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the 15-Point Plan podcast. I'm Jacqueline Smith, and I'm here with my co-host, Ryan Greigg. As always, we're breaking down different aspects of the 15-Point Plan on these podcast episodes. If you're new here, the 15-Point Plan is simply a system to manage your energy. We have systems for pretty much everything in life, and I love this system for energy management because it's not just the physical, it's not just the emotional, it is physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. It takes care of all of you and it helps you have less stress, more joy and vitality in your life. So I'm a fan, Ryan's a fan, and we know if you're here, you're a fan as well. So we appreciate you. We've been going through this series of Operate at Peak. And last time we talked through some things to not do. We called it the energy enemies. And today we're going to go over a morning and evening protocol. So this is going to summarize the last, probably 6 or 8, 10 episodes that we've done on this Operate at Peak series. This is going to summarize it and put it into a daily morning and evening practice that you can easily follow. We recommend doing this for a good 90 days or so and just see how it might transform how you feel every day. So Ryan, do you want to start walking us through this? So we wake up and what do we do?
Yeah, well, first thing, Jacqueline, is we want to wake up around the same time every day.
Okay.
We want to wake up around the same time every day, and that's probably pretty easy for most people during the week. But a lot of us, myself included, tend to sleep in on the weekends, and that's really going to mess with our circadian rhythm. So in a perfect case scenario, we wake up at the same time every day, week or weekend, so that we can really anchor that circadian rhythm.
Yeah.
And allow us to stay on a rhythm of our sleep schedule, right?
It's interesting too, because there's a note in all this research that we've been sharing over these last 10 or 12, however many episodes. It says that this is the most non-negotiable habit. So meaning this one thing will have probably the biggest impact on everything else. And I would say too, like you said, on the vacations, that's when I have a really hard time because I love sleeping in on my vacations. I do really notice it when I get back. Sometimes I'm excited to get back into my routine because I start kind of I feel it after a while.
Oh, totally. Well, we just traveled, then we slept in, and then it's like our body's catching up, and then we have to readjust multiple hours of being off on the normal rhythm that we're used to.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a really big deal. And when you get up at 4:45 or 5 during the week, like I do, I don't really want to get up at that time on the weekends.
Yeah.
But it does make a big difference for me. Okay, so now we're up, whatever that time that is.
Yep.
And hopefully we slept at least 6 or 7 hours, which meant, Jacqueline, we didn't drink any water for 6 or 7 hours, and we are dehydrated.
Well, I hope we slept for more than 6 or 7. I hope we slept for 7 or 8.
7 or 8, or hopefully, yeah, right? But right in that 6 to 8 hours, depending on the person, which again means we haven't drank any water. So we wake up and our body's in a state of dehydration. So we got to make sure we're getting some water into our body first thing, right away, within the first few minutes.
And we do that while we're scrolling our phone. We're drinking our water.
That's a great way to do that. Actually, heat up your coffee, scroll your phone.
And,
don't do that, Jacqueline. Remember, we don't want to use our phone for at least an hour in the morning. At least, and why not a couple?
Mm-hmm.
So we want to get some hydration, and a good way to do that to increase the electrolytes or get your body's salinity levels back is to a sprinkle of sea salt in there. So I think I've talked about this before, but I turn the coffee pot on, or the hot water pot on. And while that's boiling, I just throw a little sea salt into my mug that will then be my coffee mug. I drink a couple of those and I'm good to go. Now, Jacqueline, I don't know about this next one. In fact, there's 2 on here that I'm going to debate. But this next one is just it's basically not possible in the Northwest. And so we have a backup. But the next one is within 5 to 20 minutes. Get outdoors and get some sunlight. Well, what if you're up at 5 in the morning and it's freaking dark out?
Yeah. You have to have a light or something.
Yeah, so there's cool lights out there. The one I have is called the Joov, Joovv. I think it's the next quote closest thing to sunlight that you can get on your body. So those are good ways to do that. But that's like resetting the retinal light in our eyes, Jacqueline, when we get that sunshine,
Hmm.
or the next best thing. But it's also going to boost our cortisol correctly. So
Okay.
we want our cortisol getting boosted correctly, not spiking because we're stressed out from a Facebook post or because we didn't sleep all that well, but rather because we're waking up at the natural time of our circadian rhythm and then we're getting some sunshine.
Yeah. So we wake up same time. We don't go on our phone. We drink some water with some sea salt. We get some light on our face. And then we get some movement in, about 20 to 45 minutes of movement. This will help with dopamine, serotonin, neuro. I can never say that. Neuro.
Neuroepinephrine.
Thank you. For 4 to 6 hours, and it clears and adenosine. I always say that wrong.
Adenosine, yeah. Adenosine triphosphate, ATP, is a building block of our proteins and amino acids. I believe. If that's not true, somebody call me out. Send me a message.
How smart.
So, yeah, we got to get that movement in, Jacqueline. But like, I don't get it because it says to wait till later to drink the coffee. So here's where the debate comes in. How does anybody do any movement without a little bit of caffeine? Like, I
Mm.
don't do my movement without a little bit of coffee or maybe even a little bit of caffeine and other forms of like a pre-workout. Is anybody out there actually going to the gym without caffeine in their body? Message me. I'm curious. I want to know.
Well,
Jacqueline?
I will share something with you. So I've been working out with, I hope one day they will come on this podcast. I think they listen to it. But Phil and I work out with a guy and his wife that we met. Actually, he used to be a trainer at our gym, and then he opened his own gym. And Phil helped them build out their gym. This was like a decade or more ago. And then when Phil last year, my husband set his goal to run his marathon at the age of 50, when he was turning 50, they offered to train him and they offered to let me join. And so twice a week, we go to their lab and we do it's really like mobility work, strength and mobility, but it's not the same. It's not like lifting weights. It's not like super strenuous. Sometimes it feels like, am I even doing anything? And then you're like sore the next day. But they also have a video library and they have these videos that are called morning warm up. And so what I like to do is, and I don't do this every single day, but like I did this on Monday and then Tuesday I worked out with them. I put my coffee on. So it started. And then I do the morning warm up. And it's just on my yoga mat. You start out on the ground so you can be all sleepy. And by the end of the 20-minute morning warm up, you're like awake. I feel
Yeah.
like I've had a cup of coffee. But it gradually like wakes you up and gets you moving. And so something like that, then maybe you would be ready to go to the gym without your caffeine, because instead of the caffeine, you're having this awesome movement that wakes your body up. So there's like things like that you can do.
That's a good point. I prefer the combination of both. And what I found, because I think, now correct me if I'm wrong, or any listeners, again, please message me, but I feel that the reason that we should not be having caffeine first thing is because A, it's going to increase the spike in cortisol, but B, for a lot of people, it causes a crash later in the day. And I feel that can be combated by what we're eating, because I would certainly notice a crash if I'm eating like a carb heavy breakfast. So you wake up, you do these things, you drink some coffee or caffeine, then you work out, then you eat a carb heavy breakfast and lunch. Like, you're absolutely going to crash midday.
Well, I think it has to do with, if I remember, because we talked about it on one of the episodes, it has to do with, I think it's the adenosine. Am I
Hmm.
saying it wrong again?
No, you
But
got it.
it doesn't clear out. So if you have coffee right away, it
Yeah, that's
doesn't
right.
let your body clear that out. And so that's why they say that you should wait. And it actually makes caffeine less effective if you have it right away. So if you're having it later, it's actually more effective. So I don't know.
That
That's
makes sense. I'm going to look into that a little bit more because I'm curious, because we did talk about that a little bit in past episodes, but I'm not super familiar with that. So I'm curious on what clearing out adenosine actually looks like and what that will impact my body personally. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to learn more about that. Okay, so that means, Jacqueline, we
So you do movement,
got our
and
movement in.
then you do high protein breakfast after that. So now you've been awake like for about 45 to 60 minutes at this point. You're having your high protein breakfast, at least 30 to 40 grams of protein. And this will help stabilize your blood sugar for about 3 to 4 hours. And then, Ryan, after that is when you're having your first coffee.
Well, I'll just agree to disagree on this one, Jacqueline, because I've had
Well, I
probably.
don't like it either. I'm not saying I like it. I'm just saying that they say that caffeine works 40% more effectively
Yeah,
if you have it later. 1 hour. They say an hour to 90 minutes later is the best time. So I've shared, I usually I would love to have just like coffee via intravenous, like while I'm in my bed, if someone could just administer that to me. But that's not possible. So I'm getting up. I used to have my coffee right away. I'm just trying to do 30 minutes at this point. And, eventually I'll work my way up to 45 and then an hour and then 90 minutes eventually. But it's work in progress.
good. Well, I will be excited to hear how that goes for you. No,
Okay.
Jacqueline. I love this morning protocol. The only other thing I might add into there is it's just like some mindfulness, some journaling. Doesn't have to be more than 5 or 10 minutes. You could, of course, spend more time, but for me personally, yeah, wake up, get that water, maybe get outside for a quick moment. But then before the movement, I really do enjoy that mindfulness time and journaling time. So that'd be the only thing that I would slip in there if I made any changes to that.
Yeah. Well, you could do after your coffee, then you could do your first deep work block. And if you think of it as my first deep work block, an hour into my day is going to be focused on me. It's going to be journaling and breathing and reflecting, planning my day, reviewing my goals, maybe doing some meditation, like you said, prayer, affirmations. But that can be done for the next hour
True.
before you pick up the phone and get going into the office and whatnot. So,
Good point. Yeah, good point. So we've got our morning down. We got our couple deep
yep.
work blocks down. We make sure that we're hydrating throughout the day. We're getting our food in throughout the day. We're taking quick little micro breaks throughout the day so that we're not burning out. We had a successful day. We did everything we needed to. We moved the needle in our business. And now it's time for that evening wind down
Nighttime.
protocol,
Yeah.
right?
So this is pretty simple. You're going to have your last meal, at say no later than 6 p.m. because you don't want to eat within 3 hours. It has nothing to do with like y'all trying to lose weight and all that. It's just that eating too close to sleep impairs your sleep quality, which I've definitely seen this on my Aura Ring. So my recovery is lower when I have later meals. Sometimes I don't have a choice. Like I'm getting home at 6:30, and then I make my food and it's 7 and I'm going to bed at 8 or 8:30. But it just, as best you can, obviously, on all of this. And then by 8 o'clock or even sooner, depending on when you go to bed, you want to dim all your lights. You want your screens to be off because that blue light, it really suppresses melatonin, which is what helps you be sleepy. And then you want to have some sort of a wind down ritual, which might be journaling. It could be doing some of the breathing techniques that we shared. We shared one that is great to do before bed a few episodes ago. And then you want to keep your bedroom between 65 and 68 degrees. When we learned this, my husband, Phil, looked at me and said, see, I was right, because he always wants it cold and I'm always freezing cold. So keep it cooler. You'll sleep better, even if you're a little cold when you get into bed. And then to help you sleep, you can take some magnesium glycinate. I didn't realize until this study that there were different types of magnesium. I was taking this drink that I shared it on a previous episode too from Costco that was supposed to help you sleep. It was called Calm. Doesn't do anything scientifically. So,
Yeah.
and it doesn't even taste that good. So anyway, I stopped doing that. I now take magnesium glycinate. I can feel it when after I take it and I'm laying in bed. So That's a quick and simple. Would you add anything to this or change anything on this one, Ryan?
No, we've talked about this one, Jacqueline. It's just like, don't eat too much before bed.
Yeah.
Don't stare at a bunch of bright lights.
Yep.
And just try to wind down a little bit. Like, your body's going to do so much better if you've actually made a purposeful attempt at your wind down and not just like, okay, the day's done, let me hop in bed.
Exactly. Yep. So there you have it. There's your morning and your evening protocol. If you do these things for 90 days, I would love to hear, Ryan and I would both love to hear how it impacts you, what changes you see in your moods, in your energy, in your productivity during the day, and in your relationships too, when you're, off work with your family, because it really helps stabilize your mood. That's what a lot of this is about, is just having better emotional regulation and a better outlook because you feel rested, your body's being cared for. It's making a huge difference for me the more I dig into this stuff. And you don't have to change it all at once, but as close as you can adhere to these protocols, I think it's going to make a big difference in your life. So we hope this was helpful. We appreciate all of you. Like we always say, reaching out to us. I got another message the other day from someone, and it's always so encouraging because sometimes we do feel like, is anyone out there? Are we talking into the abyss of the podcast world? So we appreciate everyone who reaches out. And if you have anyone that you think would be great on our podcast, definitely reach out. We're always looking for amazing guests that we could feature for all of our guests, our listeners. And you can find us on social media, Ryan Park Greigg, Jacqueline Ray Smith. We appreciate you all. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye, everyone.